So for a team like Manchester United, for example, I would like to see Erik ten Hag against Everton tonight name his strongest side, because it's a long time since Manchester United won a trophy. Too long. United fans will tell you. You look at Liverpool. Clearly, they're not going to win the Premier League this season. So again, I think Jurgen Klopp will be under pressure to field as strong a team as possible. And then you look at the likes of Brighton and Brentford, just on the cusp of the European places. No real relegation worries for them. So again, I'd be disappointed if Thomas Frank and De Zerbi name weakened teams.
Yeah, at the game we have tonight live on talkSPORT, 8 o'clock kickoff. It is Manchester United, as Crookie mentioned there. They take on Everton. Kieran, you heard Crookie there say Man United should play their strongest side, considering the perilous position that Everton are in. Injuries starting to pile up as well. Should they play their strongest side? Do you think Frank will?
He has to. He has to, because it's as much as about the performance, isn't it, when you wear that Everton shirt, as it is the result. And he can't afford, really, the strength of the two squads. I just feel Manchester United now coming into their own a little bit. Managers had a nice settled period. Frank must be now coming to, 12 months almost within the job.
Yeah.
Has it got better? I would argue that it hasn't. But, he's had his hands tied a little bit. A lot of money been spent there before he got there. So he's got to work with what he's got. And I feel he's up for the fight. But this would be a great opportunity for him, wouldn't it, to knock the smile off of Manchester United and climb back out of the hole that they're in right now, Everton.
If it is a defeat for Everton, and look, Man United are big favourites at home, obviously, look, the run of form they're under Ten Hag has been fantastic so far. Does this count against Frank if he loses? There's been a lot of talk about that. He is on thin ice. If he does lose this game, does this count against him because it is Man United away? Is the FA Cup?
It'll be 1 win in 11 in all competitions, and there aren't too many managers who survive statistics like that. But you look at their next couple of Premier League games, we've got one of them, I think, live on talkSPORT 2 against Southampton. I described that as El Sakiko yesterday. When you look at Southampton's problems early in Nathan Jones' reign, then they go to West Ham. I mean, they are two massive games. After the West Ham game, there are still 9 or 10 days of the transfer window. Obviously, Everton in need of reinforcements. We know they've had an offer turned down for Danny Ings. I think he'll be okay if they lose to Manchester United tonight live on talkSPORT. I think maybe the nature of the defeat may be taken into account. If they go down fighting and lose narrowly, then that will probably buy him a bit more time. If they were to get hammered at Old Trafford, then the cause for his dismissal will get louder. I don't think he can afford to lose to Southampton at home.
Yeah, Frank has been pretty bullish, I think it's fair to say, with regards to sort of conversations or talks about him being sacked. What he has said is that he doesn't need sort of the backing from Farhad Nasheed. He can handle it himself. And some people might say, once you get that backing, you're doomed, aren't you? Once you get that kind of sort of the vote of confidence, they like to say, from the owners, you're doomed anyway. So even if he doesn't get it, I still feel like it's a massive, massive job for Frank now. And you wonder if it's maybe a bit too big for him, Martin.
I mean, I've always, my feeling on former top players, desperate to see them do well. But yeah, he's got to start getting results. And they will be looking at alternatives. There's no doubt. I mean, you would, in that situation, you would assume they're being professional enough to look at that. But Frank's the man in control. And it's up to him now to start getting results. I look at the goal scorers, Calvert-Lewin obviously not being around, not being available. Gordon is it with 3 goals. Your striker, 3 goals at this stage of the season. They're just not getting enough return in front of goal. Shipping goals as well at the back. There was a glimmer of hope against Man City where they showed...
Played well.
They played really well. You could see, but to lose at home to Brighton... and the feeling on Merseyside as well, there's a kind of like, they've had some great teams over the years, and that one really would have resonated and hurt to the core, because to lose to Brighton, by the way, under De Zerbi, a fantastic team right now, aren't they? Yeah. Going from strength to strength after Potter was there in front of goal. They're scoring goals, goal after goal. And you'd have looked at those two clubs as a fans would have looked and why haven't we done that? Where's our progression gone? We spent a whole lot of money on what? Now Frank may feel that, but nonetheless he's still got to work with what he's got. And he's got to get results. Otherwise, we know how football works.